This week I am going to talk about Soul. It's been a long time coming. Soul's been out for a little bit now. Soul is the latest Pixar film. I'm really looking forward to the next Pixar movie. It looks like a fun little one too. I forget what it's called now too, but it's about like this kid in Italy and shit. It looks interesting. But Soul has been it definitely was it's been about time to talk about that. And yeah, it was fun. It was heartfelt. It was everything you would expect from another Pixar movie. The last Pixar movie I talked about was Onward, right? So now we are on Soul, and I will talk about the next one. Um, and just a little reminder that Pixar's on Disney Plus too now, and they're coming out with things on Disney Plus just like Marvel and Star Wars. There's a Monsters Inc. TV mini series coming out in the next couple months called Monsters at Work. It's stuff to keep your eyes peeled for on Disney Plus. But let's talk about Soul. And this film is very inspirational. Let's start with that. Find your spark seemed to be this recurring thing in the film. Yeah. So what I always find so powerful about Pixar films is their ability to pull you into whatever story they're telling so effectively. We have this very humanizing theme or element to Pixar films, and then they add a very cool like little like ex, ex, extreme elements to it. Some sci-fi or fantasy or just some obscure element to it. They mix these human elements with these obscure elements in such a powerful way. Every one of the Pixar films, very effectively. Here we immediately care and relate to what Joe wants and what he strives for. So of course, when the stakes are thrown at us, the spark of the whole story, if you will, the inciting action, we are in and willing to stick it out all the way to the end to see what happens. Because it happens it happens very abruptly and shockingly. The way he dies in the beginning. Yeah, make it a little louder. I don't think we can hear it. Now as soon as I mean, it's just to have your main character die in the beginning. Immediately, we're invested, and so where's the obscure Pixar element, and it comes in the form of this idea of dying and souls and how souls are first and how souls become humans and all this, right? Um, and there's a paralleling idea of how jazz has an ability to touch your soul so deeply, right? And Joe actually becomes a soul, and that was an obvious connection to make, right? And I like the more powerful one. This more powerful connection was finding that spark inside you, no matter what it is. It all comes down to what kind of person you are. As we learn the rules of this story, we embrace the themes more deeply. The concept of your soul being first and last, with your body a vessel in between it all. I loved that. It's something that we've all kind of been taught if we were brought up religiously too, especially. Um, and that allowed for a lot to think about. So souls have to go through a process of becoming human before they can become human. And that human body is merely a vessel. Who we are is all a matter of what's underneath. Our souls make us who we are because we became who we are as souls. See what they did there? Um, what an interesting idea. What an interesting concept. Naturally, I was feeling all the emotions one would feel with a movie like this. So we get our story, the contrast of a soul not capable of finding her spark, right? 22 is the character, and then a soul full of spark, which is Joe. So there's a great contrast of characters there. Of course, they are our main characters. Um, the question of what the meaning of life really is naturally finds its way to the forefront of this film. And any film like that is gonna make you want to watch, make you think, make you feel. Of course, how do you raise the stakes, right? Put the two main characters in an obscure situation, hence the turning point of this film when they have a body switch twist, right? 22 ends up in Joe's body, and Joe ends up in a cat's body. Very fun twist. Fun for the kids too. That one to have him in the Cats, but it was, of course, Pixar. Very funny, very emotional at the same time. Um, at the end, the two characters both have great arcs. They need each other to learn the truth about themselves. It's a creative way to tell a story, right? So Joe has to take a step back, stop only thinking about himself, while 22 has to take a step back and really think about herself and what she wants. I also like how Joe was a teacher in the beginning, but it's 22 who has to teach him as much as he teaches anyone. 22 learning that there's a lot to live for, even the little things, and sometimes especially the little things. And sometimes just being happy with being yourself is really what life is all about, even if things don't go as planned. And the question of what purpose really is. Purpose is not what you do, it's who you are. I loved it's who you are, it's how you live, it's living in general, right? Um, might be it might actually be one of Pixar's most thought-provoking films. I actually think it is the heart and soul of Pixar movies. All the Pixar movies, it might be the heart and soul, or at least the soul of Pixar. This movie. Um, isn't that corny of me to even say? uh, yeah. So, and then with most Pixar movies, the performances do a great job, really making you feel every moment. Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey. This is not the first time for Tina Fey either. She was in Inside Out. I love the repetition of actors they use. Pixar has a way of reusing actors, and I always loved that. Um, Recently, they did it again too. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in Bug's Life. She came back for Onward. It happens a lot. Tina Fey was in Inside Out, and she plays 22 in this. And their dynamic was on point the whole film. And yeah, yeah. And like most Pixar movies, I laughed and I cried. But I just wanted to point out my favorite joke in the movie, which really just had me dying. It was definitely the Knicks joke that 22 made about how she was responsible for why they sucked every year. That was funny. That was hilarious. That joke really had me going. That one really had me rolling. But yeah, great movie, and that's honestly, dude. My rating of this movie is a 9.3 out of 10. It is a great fucking movie. Great movie. Really great movie. That's what I'll call it. Really great. And yeah, it'll probably win awards this year. It should win Best Animated at the Oscars. So stay tuned, and we'll see what the outcome of that is. But yeah, that is Soul, starring Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey, distributed and produced by Pixar, Disney.